My win. Oh, okay. I it's more of a not really win, more of a future win because
Mhm.
I just joined an opportunity about as you know, you probably know that most of you know that I'm into taxation here in the Philippines. So my future win is joining the opportunity of taking advantage of tax amnesty here in the Philippines, and I'm excited about it because um, there is one client potentially who's having a tax problem here. It turns out that the government is asking them for 176 million pesos in taxes, in back taxes.
Sounds like a lot.
And yeah, and it's our opportunity to solve that problem, and we have the potential to make my partner and I has a potential to make about 40,000 US dollars worth of professional fees for that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. And you know what? The thing is, I listen to the universe especially every time I finish tithing. Right immediately right after tithing, this news came right after I sent my tithe last week. So it was like, okay, the universe is speaking to me.
Yes.
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 So that's my aha, my future win that's about to come, and I'm
That's
excited.
awesome. That's awesome. And that's happened for you a few times, you know, right? Sort of as you take that risk, right?
Hmm.
As you fulfill that commitment, you say yes, and then something opens up, you know, both in this
Yeah.
but also in the last round.
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. How about you, Katie?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was just today reading the week two and kind of getting caught up, but within that, there was a point where they asked you to work with affirmations. And so I now have a list of 25 affirmations I'm going to start with, and then I can change them up as it goes along. And then the other big aha that I had here, because it rang true, and it's something I'm doing in another um, area of my life as well. I'm trying to uh, really concentrate on what I most want to get done, like for the week and things like that. And I'm still doing the reading in the Hollowell book, but he talked about the law of orderly thinking, and I became it just really hit home with me. I mean, he was just talking about, you can't just go and like take a call from a friend and have it be an hour or whatever it is. He's like, whatever it is you want to get done, you need to concentrate on it. And so I'm I'm really optimistic in working with the affirmations and in putting some of these things down into greater awareness and greater intentionality into what could be. So I don't have that win yet, but I feel like I'm getting a better starting point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Awesome. And so much of it does, it takes that, it's the seeding, you know, it's the getting the soil good, it's getting the practice good. Yeah. That's awesome.
yeah, because one thing that I've done, I haven't been as conscious or conscientious about money as I'd like to be, and so many of these affirmations are, I'd just be curious to see after really working with them, how that goes, because it'll bring it to the forefront
Mhm.
every day.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
anyway.
Yeah. And when you work with the affirmations, be really conscious that you come into the energetic alignment. Like what I would suggest is work with maybe two or three to start with, so that you can come, like if you have an affirmation that says, I am prosperous, then you really want to take the time to feel prosperous, not just say them. Because that once you feel prosperous, then you're interrupting any patterns of other than that, but you're also activating, and it's really down, the science is down to the, the genetic level, the DNA level, the chemical cocktails. So if you use an affirmation that says, I am prosperous, and you have any lack thought, then the chemical cocktail is going to be, you liar, right? Instead of, that's true, I am prosperous. So really feel whatever your affirmation is before you move on to the next one.
That's an idea. I was actually really excited about, I have 25 of them. The site I went on had 777, and I did 25 of them, but I really liked these, and I thought, so I may play around with it, Eliza, because I do hear what you're saying. And
maybe what you can do, Katie, if you want to use them all, is create the energy field. What is the emotion that you want to feel when you do them all? Right.
Because there's different aspects to some of these that I'm like, oh, like they get it, different angles of it all, So anyway, but I understand, and so actually let me finish that thought. So I found myself thinking as you were saying that I might actually have an easier time if I were to do all these to get into that vibratory space than if I just tried to concentrate on one or two. Do you know? That was my thought here.
Yeah.
I didn't put any on that I didn't like. Ones where I was like, I don't know. I left those off. If I had that kind of a.
We'll just play with it and see how it works.
Play with it. Yeah, let me play with it and see how it goes. Thank you, guys.
That's awesome. Well, and I want to share a win that I've been playing with for loosely maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe loosely, like, oh, that would be really fun to do. And then we started playing with it about 1.5 years ago. And today I booked my New Zealand retreat. You're all invited, including you, Anthony. Right now it's open to men and women. And it starts February 11th of 2020. It's at this beautiful retreat center in New Zealand overlooking the bay. I'm so excited about it. So we're holding space for 20 people.
Do send us an email about that.
I will. All I have down is the date and the
It's next February, this upcoming February.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So.
Well, nice. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
For taking that step. Okay.
Yeah.
It's February, again, it's February
2020.
2020. Oh, okay.
So, 9 months.
No, 9 months from now.
7, 8 months.
7 or 8 months from now, yeah.
Yeah. So you're all invited.
Thank you. I appreciate the invite.
I'll have to do a new affirmation, Eliza, of I easily fly over to New Zealand with ease and grace and peace.
Well, that's nice.
and maybe a little drugs or something, whatever you need to get there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you. I don't know if we get to have that opportunity to join you, but I'm excited for all of you who will be doing that.
Well, and we'll be on that side of the world, so who knows? That might be our opportunity to drop into your world too.
Yeah, sure.
We'll see. Anyway,
Mhm.
so tonight, this evening, this morning, we are playing with the law of attraction. We're on week 3, and we're really talking about coming into harmony with the law of attraction. So let's just jump in. And I didn't say, Wendy she's on her annual camping trip with no cell service and family and kids and all of that. So she's with us in spirit. And I have not heard from Terry, but she often pops in. So we'll feel her coming in and joining us. All right, ready? Hey, Terry, made it in. Yay. Good to see you. So what we typically do is we look at our results and we don't reverse engineer it. So Mary's going to give us some technology to reverse engineer, to quit paying attention to our results other than as indicators, so that we can begin to be conscious of our thoughts and of our vibrations. But when you look at your results, getting information, what actions are bringing that result? And what is the feeling nature behind that? So if you're getting results that you don't want, and you start to look at what the actions are, and you start to look at the feelings behind that, often you're going to find the things like the fear, or the anger, or the resentment, or the resistance, those types of things. It's not bad, and it's not good, it's information. And the more information we have, the more we can become conscious to change it. And that's what she's going to talk about next. And we're not going to make it happen so much as we begin to make it welcome. So that goes right along with, and Mary says it time and time again, but it goes right along with the how's none of our business, right? All we have to do is create the energy field, the electromagnetic energy field that starts with our fluid and then expands out beyond us, make that welcome to what we want, to the abundance, to the health, to the love, the relationships, to the ideas, to the inspiration, to all of that. So when you pay attention to a specific about what you want, we're beginning to impress it. When we come into vibrational alignment with what we want, which is what Katie and I were talking about a minute ago, when we come into vibrational alignment with our affirmations or our vision, when we become the person already living that, which is the art and science, then that electromagnetic field draws it towards us. Questions? Mary's going to explain that a little bit more in the next video, so we'll just jump right into that.
So I have a question.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How does this differ from what we call intuition?
That is a great question. So the simple answer is that intuition is a part of being in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about more than intuition here, because we're learning the technology, we're getting tools in our toolbox that we can actually use to deepen our intuition. Actually use to build the intuitive muscles and so much more.
Okay. And follow up to that, does that mean that well, my impression with the law of attraction and with the way things are is like we are not necessarily the creators, but rather the co-creators, right? Sort of. And does that mean if the thing we want is not in alignment with what we're feeling, does that mean we're better off without it? Or I don't know if I asked it right.
I think that becomes common knowledge or common thought.
Mm-hmm.
But in this technology, what we're encouraging is to come into alignment with what you want.
Okay.
Caveat that says this for a greater good. For the good of myself and other people, this or something better. So we're using this to harm anybody, and all of our good doesn't take away from anybody else's. So there's some caveats in that.
Okay.
If I have a huge desire for something like this contract you're almost at, is not to allow any intuitive or past thought or belief to talk you out of it and go, it's not for my good. Your work instead to come into being the alignment of the man who has that contract.
Okay.
Like it becomes vibrational work, right?
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So there,
Thank
we're
you.
even sort of bypassing what we might get as an intuitive hit, because our intuitive hits can also be our fear, our ego, our subconscious. It goes, no, 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 you don't want to do that.
Okay. Okay.
But we actually have control over that once we learn the technology.
All right. Thank you so much for clarifying this.
Yeah, great questions.
Mhm.
All right, here we go. Back to Mary. You can't make this happen. You can't make this shit up. Things happen when you stay in action from the vibration of it already happening. You don't have to know how. I promise you, you will not know how. And the more you let go of trying to figure it out, the more quickly the surprises show up. You can't make it happen. You can only make it welcome. So feel the difference. Feel the difference. Make it happen. Make it happen. Figure it out. Gotta know how. What's that? I got to know. I got to figure it out. Feel that force. It's not going to happen. It shuts it down. Versus, I make it welcome. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to happen, but what can I do with where I am, with what I have? What can I do today? Feel that allowing. Feel that expansion. And feel the power in this example of John and Dora going every single day to stand on that land. Can you imagine that there's a day they didn't want to go, but they went every single day? That's the power. The power is in daily activity. The power is in the interest and the attention, right? Spirit doesn't give us what our intention is. It gives us what our attention is on. So if our attention is on our intention, we've quantified the power practice. All right, we're going to jump in so we can get the videos done, and then we'll have some sharing time at the end. If you have a question or a comment, go ahead and type it in the chat. Pretty cool story, don't you think?
I love that story.
It's so much about, just to reemphasize what she said, it's staying in daily action. It's staying in daily, what can I do right now? What can I do in 5 minutes? What can I do today? In order to become, in order to manifest, in order to be the one who's already living the dream. And it is exactly like John said, through Mary, all of a sudden, I start to believe, they start to believe, you know what, this could really happen. Still don't know how, right? But it doesn't matter. How's none of our business. And so as we do our tithing today, I want you to be being the person. What are the qualities that you would be being as you're living your dream? Maybe it's confidence, or maybe it's more health, or maybe it's love, or maybe it's compassion, or what are those qualities that you are being even before your dream comes into manifestation, but as you come into alignment with, as you practice the time machine as we did last week. So as, I'm going to put that link in there. So as we get ready to do our tithe tonight, be that person. All in, who are you being? What is just one adjective, one quality that you are being as you're leaning into your dream? Leila.
Focused.
Carrie.
Making a phone call.
Okay, so you're being in action. You're being productive.
Oh yeah, in action.
What are you being?
Production. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm being in action.
Anthony.
prosperous.
And Katie.
I really like both the focused and in action. I'm going to take them both.
You can take them.
Take them, you can have them.
Yeah.
And so as we lean into, as we let our vibration rise up into being that already, we hold the intention of giving our tithe, our full tithe, our tithe of 10% of all that came in this week. And we say with a grateful heart, I give freely and receive abundantly. With a grateful heart, I give freely and receive abundantly. All together now. With a grateful heart,
Be grateful.
freely
Grateful heart.
and receive
I
abundantly.
give freely.
I receive abundance.
Abundantly.
Awesome. I'm going to put a piece of music on for a few moments.
One little boy in Africa put a face on AIDS, and he told his story to the world till he died. And these are the words he said. He said,
Close.
do all you can, what you in the time you have, in the place you are, do all you can. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are, do all you can. Do all you can. Ah, 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 ah. Ah, 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 ah. Holy Mother from India, helping the sick and the poor. Somebody asked, why do you do these things? She said, this is what I came here for. She said, do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are, do all you can. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are, do all you can. Do all you can.
Those are my friends, Lori and Robert.
That was nice.
Yeah, the video is quite lined up, so it's really hard for me to watch it, but it's such a beautiful song.
Mm-hmm.
Robert is often in at the Denver church, the Denver Unity Church, Leila. So if you go there, you might run into him.
Well, that would be cool.
Yeah, pay attention to David's website. He has them pretty often.
Okay.
So, questions, comments, ahas, what touched you today?
Okay, so I really doubt that any of us would actually sell our house and put down all that money on building something that like like to me, I was like, okay, maybe if your mom is married, man and but that was like really having to boldly step into, I guess that came from visioning it, and just knowing, because I was like, oh. I don't know. I think I would be more tempered in my boldness.
Well, we'll encourage you in your boldness, maybe not to sell your house today, but but I think what you said is but you've been doing that much visioning. They're coming into alignment. So when the next thing shows up, like even, right, spend 15,000 on plans for a house I'm not going to build, right? There's a big leap there, a gap between what you think, evidence on the material world, and what you know to be true. But it's that closing that gap. The visioning process begins to close that gap. Great. Thanks, Katie.
Well, I liked how Mary kept saying, you know, to reevaluate if it was something they really loved, because I think without that energy and that conviction, I don't think that he would have been okay with spending his last, that was their savings on the plans, you know, but they really wanted that. So, you know, it couldn't hurt to say, okay, well, we are going to need plans, you know, and we really want this, you know. I keep trying to align that with, you know, my vision and what I'm wanting to create. And that fear, I mean, you know, for John to say it was scary putting the house up for sale, and he still felt that, but he still moved forward, you know. So that was encouraging. I just feel like it takes a lot of courage, and that's what I'm asking Spirit to give me, is more courage, because come on, it's kind of really tough. It could be challenging, you know,
Yeah.
and scary.
Yeah. And there's always, right, we've talked about this, there's always a gap between where you are and where you want to be, especially if you're big enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in that gap that the fear shows up, the trust shows up, and it's like, well, really? You want me to do what? But you're not going to be asked, like, you know, in the stories that Mary shares, there's a lot more that happens. It's not like one day John wakes up and goes, oh, I'm going to, you know, spend my last 15,000. I mean, he took months to move into that, right? He had a lot, and a lot of encouragement. But but what we are being asked, and these stories illustrate so greatly, is what's the next step I can take? Where can I be bold in what I do today, or who I be today? And maybe that bold is making a phone call, or making a proposal, or stepping out, you know, in a way that feels bold for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily about, you know, and it might be, you might be asked to do something really big, but you know, some of the stories are really about the unexpected things that show up, right?
Right.
Like the guy showing up that offers him a mortgage, or the guy that buys his house that says, oh, you can live here for 5 years. You can't make this stuff up. You know, you can't make it up, but you can make it welcome by coming in such alignment. Like, what does it feel like to be the one that's already living your dream? That's why we do the time machine and things like that. What's it feel like? Oh, 3 years, you look back on the day and you go, wow, I couldn't see how I got from here to here, but it feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we use 3 years in the time machine because it's far enough out that our logical mind can get in the way. Like if we use 3 months, our logical, but like, I don't know how to get there from here, right? But 3 years, you can get into the subconscious that knows, oh, we can do that. There'll be a way to that. So great comments. And my comments back to you are helpful. Yeah. She's like, I don't know, maybe.
What's that?
Yeah. All right, Anthony, what's up for you tonight?
Well, I particularly like the idea of well, I just realized my question earlier about intuition. So what we've learned right now is more like the reverse of to me it's like the reverse of intuition. Intuition is like listening or or catching whatever. I don't know how to articulate this, but for me, more like intuition is what we receive in terms of message, and our turning out our vibration is what we send, what we emit.
Oh, good way to put
Or
it.
at least that's how I understood it. I hope I understand it correctly.
I like it.
It was interesting that you asked the question and then I answered it, and then I heard Mary answer it at least 2 more times.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, you heard Mary.
I heard Mary in the recordings. I heard Mary answer your question
Mm-hmm.
at least 2 more times during the second video set.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you're right in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And Leanna.
Mine is the commitment to your when you have a huge commitment to it, such as, you know, if it's a baby, you know, you feed it every day. And, but being totally committed to the vision. It's like, oh, I've got this vision. Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Yeah, I have a vision. Or, oh yeah, I haven't thought about it this week. Well, then it doesn't really happen, or it doesn't happen as quickly, or may not happen at all. But being very committed to the vision keeps your vibration steady. So
Right.
I think when you're that committed to it, then you have the faith that it's all going to work out, that it's all going to be where it needs to be.
Yeah, you have the faith, but you also, when you're in action, like when you're in action every day, the action is even more important. And if the action is reading your vision card, you know, if the action is to doing a time machine while you're in the shower and speaking out loud to yourself. But when you're in the action, then it's less about faith, because it's still faith, but the action is actually where the momentum is and where the magic is. And you
Right.
have to step boldly into it, because you can't just sit on your couch, like you pretty much said, and go, yeah, I have a dream that that's going to happen, and never do anything different.
Right.
Because until you be different, you can't do different. Until you can do different, you won't get different results. So looking back at that, you know, what are your results, and where do you want your results to be different, and what can you do to begin to fine tune? And they can be little incremental things, you know, because if you're going in direction right here and you make a 3-degree change, it's tiny. But the projection of that becomes very different.
Well, 3 degrees, you could miss the moon if you were a rocket.
Yep,
If you left,
right?
you went, I think it's what, 1 degree? When you leave Earth, if you're off by 1 degree, you could totally miss the moon.
Isn't that crazy? So making a 1-degree incremental change, you know, which maybe means 10 more minutes in your vision a day, that's a 1-degree incremental change. It changes all of it.
Yeah.
So that's the reason, right, that we practice. That's the reason we have our commitment. That's the reason we come into the edge of our comfort zone and then go a little further. That's the reason we give you so much material, you know, the books and the workbooks and the guidebooks and all of those things, because they all are keeping us in the energy and the vibration, building the muscles to activate and then to allow and then to receive the green. So next week we have no regularly scheduled meeting, but I want to ask and offer that you may want to join up. You know, the 5 of you, join up, meet on Zoom, same time, same place. You can use the same Zoom, and practice your dreams. Do a time machine, share your dreams. I will not be there, but I will be back here 2 weeks from today, just as planned. So who would be willing to commit to meet with each other next week? Raise your hands. We can see all four of you.
I'm gonna do my best.
Okay, well, we got three. So Terry and Leila and Anthony and Katie and Wendy, if you can, just jump on. You don't have to spend a whole hour and a half. Just, stay in the momentum. We call next week the week. You have this week to get caught up. You have this week to get caught up in all of it. And then we'll be back on that next Wednesday, which is June 26th.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Eliza. When, I did the weekend with Mary, so of course I'm still riding high on my Brave Dream Builder Live.
That was last weekend.
Yeah, this last weekend in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so one question that I didn't get answered by her, because she does that, where she lets you do Q&A with her, but I didn't get chosen. But I want to ask you.
Sure.
How do you stay in the vibration of your dream, your vision, and coexist in your reality and not feel like you're crazy?
So one of the ways that I like to answer that, a little bit in jest, but also very real, is you get to deal with what's in front of you, right? You get to stay in your job, you get to do what you have to do, and then energetically and mentally, you get to just be delusional.
Oh no, where'd you go?
Or did I go somewhere?
What
I think
happened?
she got cut off.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Still here.
That's bad.
Oh, let's see. Let's see if I'm still here. Can you hear me now? Was I frozen? Oh shoot! I got cut off. All right, am I still gone? Ah.
Dr. Joe. Hello?
Oh, I'm back. Am I
You're
back?
back.
Okay. Go ahead, Eliza.
Oh,
I
that
was
was
like, oh no, she died in the middle of answering the question.
so what I was saying, I think when I got lost is there is a power in being delusional. So when you think you're in your mind, that's a good thing. So there is a little bit, right, of doing what you're doing in your world, right? Because you got to keep doing that, and beginning to live in a place, beginning to spend your time in your meditation, your journaling, in your processing. It's beginning to live your dream long before it shows up. And sometimes that feels really kind of crazy making, but that's the breaking the habit of being the old self as you're becoming the new self. And every one of these practices will help you do that.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
So
Okay.
just keep going. Keep practicing. Like, I'm just going to give you this assignment every single day when you're in your car. This is for everybody. Do the time machine with yourself. Don't turn around while you're driving. You were driving last week. Don't turn around while you're driving. But go, okay, 3 counterclockwise circles. Oh my gosh, it is now June of 2022. June of 2022. Oh my God, look, there's Leila. Oh, tell me about your dream. Let me tell you about my life. And do it present tense. Like, oh my God, now that it's June of 2022, let me tell you about that trip I just took. And let me tell you about that retreat I did. It was like, oh my God, and that opened up doorways to this and that and the other thing. And I feel and I am and I become. But really take it on, because that's the place that begins to dismantle the habits and the patterns that go, it's never going to get there and I can't do it and it's not going to happen. That's just your mind. We have to train our mind to be who we're becoming.
Awesome. Great.
Great question. All right, y'all. I got another call in 10 minutes, so I'm
Okay.
jump
Bye.
off.
See you
Have
next
fun
week.
next week. Shoot me an email. I will send an email to everybody. Not everybody's opening them. I'm not sure who isn't, but next week, make your tithe the part of this weekly ongoing. So go ahead and do that next week, whether you're here in your group or not. And we'll see you right back here in 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right,
Bye.
bye, everyone.
We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.